My father sewed himself a bodice from Jiao serpent skin, with golden scales, and wore it for 3 straight years, refusing to take it off. It wasn't until I turned 3 and came down with a strange illness, my whole body itching and my skin peeling off in pieces like scales, that my father finally took the bodice off and placed it on me. Miraculously, not long after putting it on, I was cured. But my father was diagnosed with cancer that very day, and he died within a few days. After his death, the bodice was left behind and became the treasured heirloom of our family's tailor shop. It was even hung on the most prominent wall as a showpiece, because it could grant anyone with a terminal illness 3 more years of life. The golden scaled Jiao serpent embroidered on the bodice was incredibly lifelike, and as I grew up, I always felt like that serpent was smiling strangely at me, as if it were about to crawl down and devour me. Then, one night in a dream when I was 21, the serpent seemed to transform into a ghostly figure and crawl down. It slipped into my quilt, wrapped around my legs, and then a pair of hands began to caress me. Su Wan, do you know who I am? I couldn't move, as if I were being controlled by some force. Who are you? I'm the great golden Jiao serpent from your family's bodice. I was shocked. What? But that's just an embroidery. How could it possibly become a living thing? Your father skinned me with his own hands and sewed me onto this bodice. Isn't that interesting? His fingers brushed over my lips. He maliciously pressed on my lips until they hurt. I winced in pain but didn't dare to resist. What do you want? He began to chuckle softly, and then I slowly lost consciousness. From then on, that great serpent would transform into a human form every night and slip into my bed. He would stroke my face over and over again. This torment continued for a full 2.5 months. Later, I found myself frequently feeling nauseous and wanting to vomit. A trip to the hospital revealed the truth. I was actually pregnant. I was completely at a loss and didn't dare tell my mother. But then, my mother was diagnosed with terminal liver cancer at the hospital. She had 2 months left at most. Mom, I don't want you to die. Put on the bodice. Even if it's only for 3 years, it's better than nothing. My mother shook her head and refused. Have you forgotten your father's last words? No one is ever to wear this bodice again. Countless people have asked to borrow it over the years, and I've kept my promise to your father and never lent it out. How can I break that promise for my own sake? Mom, at least give me a reason. I don't want to lose you. Fine, I'll tell you the truth. The serpent on the bodice is real. Your father killed it with his own hands and stripped its skin. He embroidered it onto the bodice. Whenever it extends someone's life, it's using its own spiritual power. The fortune teller we saw the year you were born said that no matter who wears this bodice to extend their life, the karmic debt will fall upon you. Mom really can't do something so selfish for her own sake. But Mom, don't you know he's already been taking revenge on our family? He comes to me every night. I'm pregnant now. My mom asked in shock. What? Say that again. I'm pregnant. It's the spirit from the bodice. My mom screamed like a madwoman. Enough. Don't say another word. She suddenly rolled off the bed, knelt on the floor before me, and started kowtowing repeatedly. Serpent Lord, I'm begging you, please spare my daughter. This is all our fault, the adults. It has nothing to do with Su Wan. But the bodice on me showed no reaction. An oppressive atmosphere filled the room. A dead silence fell over us, but my mom continued to kowtow without stopping. Don't bow, he probably won't come out. I saw the purple bruise on my mom's forehead from where she'd hit it and rushed over to hug her. But she said I was in the way and just kept hitting her head until the skin broke. A large pool of fresh blood spread across the concrete floor. I was in a complete panic. Before I could go over and forcibly pull her up, a mocking chuckle echoed through the cellar. I want her to repay me. What can you do about it? Do you Su family members have any right to bargain with me? My mom's face turned deathly pale. She stared at him in terror, still begging. Snake Lord, if you want retribution, take it out on me. Please, spare Su Wan. What has she done wrong? The man ignored my mom, his gaze falling on me. Su Wan, you're that ghost serpent. I asked him, can you save my mom? She doesn't have much time left. He narrowed his eyes and said in a commanding tone, drip your blood onto the bra. Bind yourself to it. As soon as he finished speaking, he vanished. Without a moment's hesitation, I bit my own finger open. My mom slapped me hard across the face. Su Wan, Mom, why did you hit me? I was completely stunned. Who gave you permission to do something like that? If you get entangled with him, your life will be ruined. I just wanted to save you. I hadn't even finished speaking when my mom snatched the bra from my hand. My mom glared at me viciously. I don't need you to save me. If you get entangled with him, I would rather be dead. Though she was seriously ill, she endured the pain. Holding that bra, she rummaged through the house and found an old, broken box. It was a box made of solid acacia wood, with a round, colorful bronze lock shaped like a 9 palaces Bagua compass. My mom put that ghost python bra into the box and turned a bronze key that had a red string tied to it. She fastened the 8-trigram lock. The ghost python inside seemed to struggle. The box began to shake violently in a bizarre way, but after just a few jolts, it fell silent. The ghost serpent must have been suppressed by some kind of power on the box. Go to sleep. Tomorrow, I'll take you to get rid of that monster in your belly. My mom hurriedly urged me to go to sleep. Staring at that acacia wood box, I felt a strange sense of unease. Will this box really work? It was passed down from the Su family ancestors. There won't be any problems, my mom said with absolute certainty. I had also thought that since the bra was locked away, that man definitely wouldn't come. But in the middle of the night, a huge swarm of snakes appeared at our front door. I woke up freezing, a chill running through my entire body. I opened my eyes and saw the glass window. Outside, a swarm of snakes were coiled with their heads raised, calling out to me with strange, hissing sounds. Su Wan, my scalp tingled and my whole body went rigid. I couldn't get back to sleep. Suddenly, my abdomen twitched. My fingers shot to my flat stomach. Could it be the baby moving? Beside the bed, a dark shadow was cast over me. Someone leaned down close to my ear and chuckled softly, just a broken old box. And you think it can trap me? Don't come any closer. I'm begging you, spare me. Seeing him, I was terrified by reflex. But the man turned a deaf ear, his tall figure moving without any restraint. As he loomed over my body, you consumed my essence and now carry my flesh and blood. And you still want to back out of the deal? What did I ever take from you? I was in despair and humiliated. I was carrying his child, and it was because he forced himself on me. As for what I ate of his, I have no memory at all. He smiled coldly and pinched my chin. His cool, soft lips pressed against mine. Do you remember how you learned to speak? I suddenly remembered when I was 3 years old, right before my dad died. It was like he stuffed something round into my mouth. It was as if he knew exactly what I was thinking. That was my inner core. Under his relentless torment, I unconsciously fell asleep again. On the third day, I woke up in a daze. The thermometer read 38.5 degrees. It seemed I had a low-grade fever. I couldn't eat any breakfast. My mom saw me vomiting until only bitter bile came out. She patted my back and kept comforting me. It's okay. Once we get to your second uncle's house, everything will be alright. Only then did I realize my mom wanted my second uncle to help. Just then, the car my mom had called arrived. Picking us up was a couple from town who ran an unlicensed taxi. The car stopped near a cliff. At first, I wondered if the couple had gotten lost in the mountains and driven to the wrong place. Did they take a wrong turn? My mom picked up the locust wood box she had brought with her. She said to me, "No, this is the place." She got out of the car with the box and walked to the edge of the cliff. She threw the box straight into the ravine. Then, my mom stood there with her hands clasped, murmuring something. In less than 30 seconds, she was back in the car. Seeing this scene through the car window, I was completely stunned. My mom actually threw away that bra that had been in our house for over 10 years. My mom was in a good mood after getting back in the car. Wan, Mom threw away that ghastly, bewitching bra. He won't be able to find you anymore. The area was surrounded by mountains, and the valley below was a godforsaken place, completely deserted. Tossing the locust wood box down there was like burying it in the mountains forever. When I heard that I was free from that terrifying ghostly enchantment, I was overjoyed, but I couldn't help but worry again. But your illness, my illness is fine. Su Wan, if you sacrifice yourself because of my illness, I wouldn't be able to rest in peace, even in death. My mom's tone was extremely stern. I could only shut my mouth. I don't know why, but after the locust wood box was thrown away, my low-grade fever turned into a high fever. My forehead was scorching hot. It felt like a branding iron. Just as I was delirious from the fever, the man driving suddenly slammed on the brakes, stopping abruptly. I heard the man's annoyed voice as he spoke up. That Wang Dan, the village guard from Shejing village, is blocking the road. He won't let us in. This is the only road into the village. If you two want to get in, you'll have to get out and walk. The man's wife impatiently gave us the boot. We have other fares to get to. You're not our only customers. Ma'am, you and your daughter can fend for yourselves. Forget it, Wan. Let's not cause any trouble. My mom persuaded me, saying, besides, your second uncle will be here soon. I sighed, nodded, and reluctantly got out of the car with my mom. The village guard, Wang Erden, was a fool. He walked towards us with a silly grin. He kept looking me up and down. Hey there, pretty lady. So pretty, and you're carrying a little baby in there. You can't go in. Why can't we go in? My mom asked Wang Erden. Wang Erden just gave a mysterious smile. There's a demon's den in there. It eats adults and children. What did Wang Erden mean by saying this Gujing village is a demon's den and that I can't go in? Just then, my second uncle, Su Chongshan, pulled up on his motorcycle and saw Wang Zidan blocking our way. His face was fierce as he roared at Wang Erden, get lost. If you keep blocking the way, I'll sick the dogs on you. Wang Zidan was so scared he started crying, shrinking away to the side of the road to wipe his tears. My second uncle came over to me and my mom, his tone becoming much gentler. Su Wan, sister-in-law, it's all my fault I was late, letting this fool bully you. Wan, you have a high fever. My mom looked at my second uncle pleadingly. He put the helmet on my head, but his gaze fell to my lower abdomen, a dark look in his eyes. This is what happens when a snake gets to you. Get on, I'll take you back first. My uncle got on the bike first, and my mom struggled to climb onto the back seat. But then I saw Wang Erden peeking through a gap in the fingers he was using to cover his face. He was actually snickering. He had just been fake crying. Hey, big girl, you didn't listen. You just had to go into the village. 2 lives, what a pity. I was already on the motorcycle, and my heart sank. Before I could even react, the world started spinning, and I passed out from the fever. When I woke up, I was lying in an old, traditional-looking main hall. Underneath me was a tattered straw mat laid out on the floor. 4 Taoist nuns stood across from me, their faces cold and grim. The oldest one among them said coldly, "The girl with the snake fetus is awake." "Who are you? Where am I?" The old nun, with a coin sword strapped to her back, barked with a sinister expression. "Hold her down. This girl is possessed by evil. We absolutely cannot let her escape and wreak havoc on the world." Suddenly, my body was pushed down. It was my mom and my second uncle holding me. Mom looked at me, her eyes filled with pain. "Su Wan, just bear with it. It'll be over soon. Your uncle asked the priestesses from the White Cloud Temple to come help you." I looked at my mom, feeling completely torn. Are they here to get rid of my baby? "Sister-in-law, don't talk to Su Wan. She's possessed. It might spread to you." My second uncle warned my mom from the side. After hearing my second aunt, my mom pressed her lips together and didn't say another word to me. The old nun and her 3 disciples drew their coin swords and began to brandish them. As they danced, they lit a block of purified realgar. Maybe because I was carrying a snake fetus, the moment I smelled it, my entire lungs began to burn with a scorching, fiery pain. Then they lit more realgar, and I felt as if I was being consumed by the smoke. My head was splitting, and I couldn't move. By the power of yin and yang, as the sun rises in the east, shatter the 7 evils with the force of a thunderbolt. Subdue the demons and vanquish evil. The old nun chanted, holding a talisman written in cinnabar. The talisman flew through the air and landed on my lower abdomen. Instantly, a violent pain shot through me, as if I'd been struck by a heavy hammer. The pain was so intense that I clawed holes into the straw mat beneath me, my fingernails filling with blood. "Mom, I can't take it. It hurts so much. I don't want to do this anymore." But I waited for a long time, and no one came to help me. My body grew colder and colder. The cramping pain in my stomach grew worse and worse. I struggled with all my might, but I couldn't break free. With the force of my mom and my second uncle pinning me down, tears rolled from the corners of my eyes. "Little uncle, Su Wan is crying tears of blood. This talisman is too strong. If this continues, something will happen to Su Wan." My second uncle looked at my writhing, contorted body, his expression terrifyingly calm. He spoke to my mom in a tone that suggested he was doing it for my own good. "Sister-in-law. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Su Wan is carrying a demon fetus. How can we get rid of it if she doesn't suffer a little?" My mom, convinced by my second uncle's words, nodded. My heart sank into an abyss. As my insides burned and tore apart, I coughed up a mouthful of blood. "HMPH. To think you'd dare to kill my son. Your Su family certainly has some nerve." A long leg stepped over the threshold of the main hall. He placed a hand on my lower abdomen, and the wicked paper talisman flew up, bursting into flames on its own. It instantly burned to ashes. The crushing weight on my body was stripped away in a moment. The life-threatening, agonizing pain in my belly vanished with it. I sat up abruptly. "It's you. Weren't you thrown away?" My mom was even more shocked than I was. She took a step back and nearly fainted. "You brazen snake demon, you dare to show yourself. Watch as I enact heaven's will and put you down." The old priestess shouted sharply as she thrust a cinnabar talisman, red as blood, toward him. The man casually waved his sleeve, and the talisman once again ignited without fire. And the flames from the paper leapt onto her Taoist robes. The blaze was so fierce it sent the terrified old priestess rolling on the ground. She managed to extinguish the fire, but her attempt to subdue him had failed, leaving her robes covered in scorch marks. She scrambled to her feet, looking disheveled and terrified. "Just who are you, demon lord?" A mocking smile played on the man's lips. "Which sect and branch do you belong to? To have so little knowledge. Did your master not teach you to kneel when you see this lord?" The old priestess had just recognized him. She immediately fell to her knees, trembling as she apologized. "You are Lord Snake. Forgive my ignorance." Before she could even finish her plea for forgiveness, blood suddenly gushed from her eyes, ears, nose, and mouth. The color drained from her skin in an instant. With a loud thud, the old priestess's bone-thin body fell rigidly to the ground. "Since you are so ignorant, then be gone." In the blink of an eye, the man vanished. After a long moment, my second uncle mustered his courage, walked over, and nudged the old priestess's stiff body. "G Grand Master, are you alright? Master, wake up. We were counting on you for Su Wan." "Changshan, I think the master isn't breathing." My second aunt went over to check under the old priestess's nose. Afterward, her entire arm was trembling. A series of horrified gasps echoed through the main hall. That demonic serpent, so cruel and so powerful. Even the highly skilled abbess of the White Cloud Temple was defeated by his hand. In a flash, from inside the old priestess's nose, a small, colorful snake slithered out. It opened its fanged mouth menacingly, and lunged viciously at my second aunt's finger. Luckily, she was quick enough to pull her hand back. My second uncle's expression hardened. He grabbed a chair and smashed the snake to death on the spot. My second uncle pulled my second aunt up, leading her away from the old priestess's body. My mom also came over and pulled me aside. Wan, that demonic serpent, he didn't do anything to you, did he? No. It seems he only went after the priestess. Suddenly, the sound of women's piercing, sorrowful sobs reached my ears. Startled, I looked toward the sound. It was the 3 young disciples of the dead priestess, collapsed over her body, weeping inconsolably. You died such a horrible death, master. Now that you're gone, what are we supposed to do? Sob. I looked at the corpse on the floor. The more I looked, the stranger it felt. I shouted a warning. Your master was bitten to death by a snake. There might be other venomous snakes inside her body. Just as I said that, another small snake shot out from the corpse's other nostril. It's a good thing I warned them in time. The female disciples of that old Taoist nun turned pale with fright, screaming as they scrambled and crawled backwards. This time, it was my mom who stepped in and smashed this snake to death. Su Wan, you and your mom go get some rest. We adults will handle things here, my second uncle suddenly said to me. He didn't mention getting me an abortion again at all. After the ordeal I'd just been through, I felt a bone-chilling fear. I tried to refuse. Second uncle, I want to go home. I think it's better if my mom and I don't cause you any trouble. Listen to me, it's already dark. It isn't safe for 2 women to be walking on the road at night. After persuading me, my second uncle turned to my mom and said earnestly, Sister-in-law, you should go rest with Wan. You're not well. If you collapse, what will Su Wan do? My mom trusted my second uncle a lot. She nodded in agreement. We'll be a bother then, little brother. I'm so sorry for all the trouble my Su Wan has caused you. What trouble? We're family. I'll find a way to invite a more powerful master to exorcise the evil from Su Wan. My second uncle said with an air of righteousness. My mom thanked him profusely. Then, he led my mom and me to a guest room upstairs to rest. But I suddenly remembered something from my childhood. After my dad passed away, besides that one time he came to borrow a bra, my second uncle had almost no contact with our family, and my mom didn't even lend the bra to him. But this time, my second uncle was willing to risk his life to help me. I couldn't help but suspect he had some other motive. Without realizing it, I slept from the afternoon until late at night. I was startled awake by the hissing of snakes. Terrified, I got up, pulled back the curtains, and looked. Sure enough, there were a lot of snakes coiled up in front of second uncle's house. In a panic, I opened the door and went to the bathroom. When I came out, I suddenly noticed in the dim hallway, there was a trail of bloody footprints. I followed the footprints with my eyes. In the distance stood an old woman with a full head of white hair. Sensing something, she suddenly whipped her head around. The scent of a living person who is that sneaking around, following me. I quickly ducked back into the bathroom and held my breath. It's me, my uncle's voice said. The old woman chuckled sinisterly. Granny who, my uncle said. That ghost has made its move, what should I do? My house is surrounded by his snakes. Is Su Wan really your niece? She was almost killed today by that Taoist nun you hired. And you didn't even bat an eye, Granny Hu said with a strange smile, avoiding the question. You humans, every last one of you is heartless and ungrateful. It seemed that Granny knew my second uncle. They were discussing how to deal with the female ghost. Mustering my courage, I snuck a peek and saw my second uncle smoking a cigarette. Through the swirling, pale white smoke, that old woman had an extremely pale face. Her face was covered in white fur, and her features were identical to a fox's. The sight made my scalp tingle. My uncle was actually talking to a half-human, half-fox monster. I was so shocked I clapped my hand over my mouth. My uncle's face darkened as he questioned Granny Hu. What do you mean by that? I was just making a casual remark. Granny Hu's laughter was chilling. With me here, you're still afraid of Yu Longting? He's the Snake Lord. You might not be a match for him, second uncle said with a grim face. Granny Hu was holding a candle that flickered with a ghostly green flame. The phosphorescent light made her face look even more deathly pale. Who said I would get involved personally? She immediately took out a black pill. What is this? Second uncle asked. This? Granny Hu gave a sinister smile. An abortion pill. Once Su Wan takes it, she'll miscarry and then bleed to death. You can use that stillborn fetus, just like your brother did, to make yourself a matching bra to wear. Why would we fear Duke Yu Longting? Granny, your methods are truly brilliant. Granny Hu said, when the time comes, the stillborn fetus is yours. I just want that wench Su Wan's eyes. No problem. When the time comes, I'll gouge them out for you with my own hands, second uncle said, taking the pill. My whole body trembling, I waited until they both left before I dared to come out of the bathroom. Without daring to stop for even a moment, I rushed toward the guest room. Second uncle is really going to kill me. But as I got to the room, panting as I shut the door, a voice that was not domineering, yet incredibly languid, sounded in my ear. Are you satisfied with your husband's methods? A shiver went down my spine. How can you still be here? I'm starting to worry about our child's intelligence if it's born. The man pinched my chin and gave me a kiss. My eyes flew wide open. What do you mean? What if they inherit your intelligence? Didn't I tell you? That stupid box couldn't hold me. He looked at me like I was an idiot. For a moment, I completely forgot my fear, my face flushing. Don't be like that, Su Wan. If it weren't for me today, you'd be dead. As a thank you gift. You'd better behave yourself from now on. After saying that, he picked me up. I grabbed his sleeve frantically. Second uncle is going to make me take an abortion pill tomorrow. It's your own son's life. You'll do something about it, right? He's giving you an abortion pill. Just don't take it. The man, lying on top of me, said idly. Seeing he wasn't taking it seriously, I started to panic. He'll force me to take it. And my mom trusts him so much. I'm no match for him, Yu Longting. Please, help me then. His soft, thin lips came down on mine again. The heavy weight on me made me pass out again. The next morning, I woke up in a daze. I realized he was still beside me. His lips curled into a smirk, and he immediately turned to leave. I stammered, don't go. I don't want to take the abortion pill. Say that again. Yu Longting's wicked, wanton eyes suddenly seemed exceptionally gentle. I don't want to take the abortion pill. Is this guy a broken record or something? Wait, did he misunderstand and think I want to have his baby? Well, a misunderstanding is fine. If he knew I didn't, he'd definitely be furious. In the blink of an eye, Yu Longting disappeared. I felt a pang of disappointment. Don't be afraid, I'm nearby. Yu Longting's voice suddenly rang out, but I couldn't see where he was. I actually felt a sense of security inside. I quickly changed and rushed to the bathroom to wash up. Maybe I should escape from second uncle's house first, get back to my own home, and then call my mom to come back. When I came out of the bathroom, second uncle's son, Su Xiaomin, was deliberately waiting at the door to block my way. Did you know a ton of snakes showed up last night? I was sleeping so soundly, I had no idea. I was afraid he was looking for trouble, so I took a small step back. I'm sorry for causing you all this trouble. My mom and I will leave right now. Su Xiaomin deliberately took a step closer. You've already cornered me in the bathroom. Leave? Where do you think you're going? My dad bought some snake poison from an expert and killed all those snakes. Once my dad helps you to get rid of that Gui Zhao, how do you plan on thanking us? Second uncle, you really are incredibly resourceful. My family doesn't have any money right now. Once we do, we'll pay second uncle back. My throat went tight. The way Su Xiaomin was staring at my chest made me extremely uncomfortable. Su Xiaomin pressed closer, backing me into a corner. He reeked of sulfur. Get your mom to make me a set of clothes. The kind that makes a man more potent. Fine, no problem. As soon as second uncle gets rid of Gui Zhao, I'll have my mom make them right away. The smell of sulfur was so strong it made me want to gag. Pinned against the sink behind me, I saw Su Xiaomin's hand reaching for my waist. For some reason, my vision was suddenly covered in a sheet of dark green. Su Wan, you've got a great body. Gui Zhao must have taken an interest in you because of this, right? Those eyes, they were just like the ones I saw last night. They were identical to the eyes of that old, hairy-faced woman. All the hair on my body stood on end. The place he touched felt like it had been seared. Taking advantage of the tiny gap between us, I slipped out and escaped the bathroom. Behind me, Su Xiaomin let out a bizarre laugh. Still pretending to be some kind of virtuous maiden? You're just some tramp the ghost python has already had its way with. Did you really think I'm interested in you? I fled downstairs as if my life depended on it, my steps so chaotic I almost tumbled headfirst. An arm wrapped around my waist from behind, easily steadying me. Why didn't you help me back there? I took a deep breath to calm myself. Yu Longting just snorted softly through his nose. You're fine, aren't you? That's because I was clever. And fast. I snapped. He stinks, Yu Longting said. Are you afraid of sulfur? Afraid? Like hell I am. Why the foul language all of a sudden? Yu Longting chuckled. I just can't stand that foxy stench on him. As he spoke, he vanished again. But hearing Yu Longting describe Su Xiaomin like that, could he be possessed by a fox spirit or something? I have to find my mom and get out of this godforsaken place. Su Wan, you're up. I saved you some food. My aunt's voice suddenly called out. I had just reached the door when second aunt walked in from outside. The yard outside was covered in dead snakes, all the ones that had been coiled up at the door last night. I could also hear the thudding of a hammer hitting the ground. Then, I saw second uncle's figure in the yard full of dead snakes. With one swing of the hammer, he was smashing the head of each dead snake. Your second uncle is just dealing with any future problems. Second aunt explained, don't you know? Even dead snakes can come back to life. You have to smash their heads to make sure they won't bite anyone. I nodded, a bit shaken, and asked where's my mom? She's in the attic, making clothes. Second aunt said this as she pulled me toward the dining room. I followed behind her in a daze. I thought about what Su Xiaomin had said, about clothes that would make a man more powerful. It was so absurd. How could my mom possibly agree to something like that? Making clothes for Su Xiaomin? I asked. Second aunt glanced back at me, her face full of confusion as she spoke. Your mom's skills are legendary. What makes Su Xiaomin worthy of having her make his clothes? She's making them for you. For me? Why would she suddenly want to make clothes for me out of the blue? I looked at second aunt, completely baffled by what she was saying. But, I shot to my feet. Second aunt was completely unfazed. She only has about a month left to live, and you're being tormented by a ghost. We might as well make the most of it and create a set of mourning clothes to protect you. Even if she's going to die, she still has to be reincarnated, you know. Do you have any idea what mourning clothes mean? Yin-yang embroidery can stitch a person's soul right into the fabric. If it's stitched onto mourning clothes, they can become a guardian spirit. The child who wears them will be protected. She chuckled lightly. That was your mother's decision. Why are you yelling at me? Besides, having these clothes is a good thing. At least in the future, your mom can still be with you. What she said actually gave me an idea. If my mom wanted to make the clothes, then let her. As long as my mom wasn't dead, even if the clothes were made, they'd just be an empty shell. Second aunt, I didn't mean to yell at you. I just hope my mom doesn't have to sacrifice anything more for me. I propped myself up, exhausted, and looked at the breakfast spread on the table, but I didn't dare touch a single thing. Yu Longting's voice sounded right beside me. What are you afraid of? They have one abortion pill, I just don't know which dish has it and which one doesn't. When it was brought to the table, I still didn't dare to eat anything. Yu Longting mocked me. If I knew eating the abortion pill wouldn't give them a chance to gouge my eyes out, I'd be wolfing this down in a heartbeat. But right now, I really don't dare to, Su Wan. Hurry up and eat. You barely ate anything yesterday. Second aunt put a piece of sesame flatbread and a fried dough stick on my plate. My uncle came in after killing the snake and saw that I hadn't touched my chopsticks. He said, is the food here not to your liking? He was holding a huge iron hammer in his hand. The hammer was covered in snake blood. The sight of it made my stomach churn, and I started to dry heave. Even if it's not to your liking, you don't have to throw up, do you? Second aunt said, displeased. My second uncle shot her a glare. This is what it's like to be pregnant with a snake child. The snake is a picky eater. It'll be fine once the fetus is aborted. Hearing the word aborted, I subconsciously touched my lower abdomen. They say even a vicious tiger won't eat its own cubs. I was pregnant with Yu Longting's child, but I didn't feel like a mother at all. Instead, there was an indescribable fear in my heart. What was I supposed to do now? Do you have a way to induce her miscarriage? Second aunt asked. My second uncle shook his head. No, I'm trying to figure something out. I listened to the two of them putting on an act. My brow furrowed. Snakes like to eat chicken gizzards. I'll go kill a chicken. Maybe that will whet Su Wan's appetite. After a moment of silence, my second uncle spoke, and second aunt went along to help. Suddenly, I was the only one left in the dining room. Then I saw Yu Longting sit down next to me. I asked him. The old lady gave him an abortion pill. Why didn't he just use it? Because he's afraid of me. Yu Longting picked up a cornbread bun and felt it. Seeming to think it was fine, he broke off a piece and held it to my lips. It's covered in your saliva. Dirty. Yu Longting quickly pulled his hand back. A moment later, it dawned on me. You're saying my uncle and aunt are afraid of you? They know you're here? Obviously, Yu Longting said, looking at me like I was an idiot. Su Wan, your intelligence is truly worrying. Because you appeared yesterday, they're definitely wary of your presence. Finally, not completely hopeless. I got ready to go upstairs, get my mom, and get out of there. Yu Longting's expression suddenly darkened. Don't go to the attic. It was the first time I'd seen him so serious since we met. I decided to pull out my phone and send a text. I said I'd been bitten by a snake, was poisoned, and had gone to the hospital. Knowing my mom, she would definitely leave right away and rush to the hospital to find me. I had already secretly used my phone to call a car to the village entrance. All I had to do now was get out of here. Besides, they're all afraid of Yu Longting. If I were to leave, I doubt any of them would have the guts to stop me. Su Wan, are you leaving? Su Xiaomin's voice came from behind me. My back went stiff as I turned around. Su Xiaomin's eyes were still a dark green. He stared at me with a sinister, ghostly gaze and waved a battered old phone at me. Your mom fainted in the attic. The phone in his hand was my mom's. What did you do to her? I snarled, glaring at the phone in his hand. I don't know if it was just my imagination, but I could have sworn Su Xiaomin's face was looking more and more like a fox's. He said, I didn't do a thing. She has a terminal illness. Isn't it normal for her to faint? I immediately rushed back, wanting to charge upstairs to see my mom. Su Xiaomin yelled towards the kitchen, Dad, Mom, it's an emergency. Auntie has fainted. You two, hurry and go look. After shouting, he looked at me with a smirk. Su Wan, did Yu Longting tell you not to go to the attic? But if you don't go up there your mother is going to die. What are you going to choose? I'm so curious. Right now, he didn't feel like Su Xiaomin at all. A chilling glint shone from his cold, dark eyes. Is Su Xiaomin possessed? But what kind of thing is possessing him? It seems to know both me and Yu Longting, and it holds a deep-seated hatred for me. I wanted to turn and run, but I was frozen to the spot. Uncle, Aunt, look. How did my cousin's eyes get like that? My uncle asked, as if this was completely normal. Xiaomin became a spirit medium. He can channel the fox spirit, so this happens a lot. What's there to be shocked about? You're the one who got tangled up with a snake and ended up with its spawn. You've brought shame to the entire family, and you still have the gall to criticize others? Xiaomin is a proper apprentice to an immortal, a great honor that brings glory to our ancestors. It's a blessing countless people pray for. My aunt seemed displeased by my surprise and began to mock me sarcastically. This isn't the time to argue, my uncle said to me. Su Wan, hurry upstairs with me and check on her. If her illness is flaring up, we need to get her to the emergency room immediately. If we're too late, her life might be in danger. Okay, I agreed, full of anxiety. My uncle hurried up the stairs. I pretended to follow right behind him, but I was actually slowing my steps on purpose. What on earth is in that attic? I did my best to remain calm. I whispered his name. Yu Longting, his ethereal voice replied. I cannot enter the attic. So, this wasn't a hopeless situation after all. My uncle was being too obvious. He could easily carry mom down by himself. So why did he need me? It was obvious he was using my mom as a hostage. Before I knew it, I was at the attic door. I could see my mom, collapsed over the sewing machine. A white linen mourning garment lay half-finished, stained with a large, dark red patch of blood. Inside, my uncle was pressing the point under mom's nose to wake her. The moment her eyes opened, she coughed up several mouthfuls of fresh blood. What's happening to me? Sister-in-law, it seems your illness has flared up. My uncle said to my mom, then turned to look at me in the doorway. Su Wan, what are you gawking at? Get in here and help. Yu Longting, how can you be? At the same time he saw me. He also saw Yu Longting standing right beside me. His face instantly turned ashen. Then his expression changed to one of, I told you so. Is my name something you're worthy of uttering? You vile creature. Yu Longting's handsome, phoenix-like eyes narrowed. My uncle's eyes flickered. So what if I said it? You can't get into this attic, and you certainly can't kill me. He was wearing a protective jade pendant, a gift from another patron spirit. To kill him I would have to pay a great price. Yu Longting said to me. I nodded. No wonder someone as quick-tempered as Yu Longting had never made a move against second uncle and his family. Wan, my mom's eyes were red-rimmed. She stared, her eyes wide with fury, at my hand clasped in Yu Longting's. Why are you standing with him? You ghostly consort, if you have a problem, direct it at me. Let go of my daughter. You've got it wrong, Mom. Yu Longting is here to help us. My mom must have thought I was possessed. Her emotions suddenly flared, and she violently pushed over the sewing machine in front of her. She collapsed onto the floor, glaring at Yu Longting with a look full of hatred. How could a ghostly consort possibly help us? How could my Wan be pregnant? Stay away from Wan, or I swear I'll haunt you even after I'm dead. Suddenly, my mom cried out in pain. Third uncle had grabbed her hair from behind and yanked her head back. Second uncle spoke in a sinister tone. Su Wan, it seems that ghostly consort has you completely under his spell. In that case, I don't need to hold back. Come in here, or you can watch your mother die. My mom's eyes were filled with utter shock. Su Changshan, you're using my life to threaten Wan? My uncle dropped all pretense. So what if I am? Su Changshan, that abortion pill will kill me if I take it. And you still want to gouge out my eyes and give them to some fox spirit? You won't even leave my body intact. What did mother and I ever do to you? Why are you doing this to us? Seeing my uncle manhandle my mom, this was the only thing I could do. Stall for time and figure something out. I also had to make my mom see just how evil second uncle really was. Second uncle sneered. If you have to blame someone, blame the old man for being so biased. He only passed down the art of yin-yang embroidery to your father. Why, I'm his son, too. Don't blame grandpa. It's your own fault for being so ambitious, selfish, and inhumane. Yin-yang embroidery was never meant for you. I sneered at my second uncle. I didn't know the full story of the previous generation's grudges. I had only heard that our ancestors' yin-yang embroidery was a skill that had always been passed down to a single heir. Grandpa chose my father, and not his brother, to be that successor. My uncle had apparently held a grudge about it ever since. I took a deep breath and made my decision. Let go of my mom. She can't handle being tormented like this. None of this has anything to do with her. If you want something, direct it at me. So, you want to take your mother's place, is that it? Then come over here. Come on, drink the abortion medicine, and I'll let her go. The more upset I became, the more excited my second uncle got. Like hell she will. Yu Longting's voice was chillingly cold. Su Changshan, so, your family found a backer in Zanjing. You got your hands on a measly protective jade pendant and thought you were invincible? I glared at second uncle, on the verge of losing my composure and rushing in, but Su Xiaomin had appeared behind us at some point. I'd like to see just how you plan to kill him. I turned my head to look. Even though I was mentally prepared for it, I was still shocked to suddenly see a furry fox head on a human body. Zanjing, you died once already. Shouldn't you be lying in your coffin instead of wandering around? Yu Longting's arms suddenly stretched out. Grabbing Su Xiaomin by the neck from 2 or 3 meters away, he violently yanked him closer. Su Xiaomin's eyes were bloodshot from the choking, but he didn't seem to mind at all, saying with a strange laugh. Aren't you just some pathetic snake sewn into a piece of underwear? If you can wander around freely, why can't I? Is it because I'm better looking? Where I go is my business. Yu Longting could tell from Su Xiaomin's eyes that the man was looking down on him. It's his own fault for being ugly and coming out to scare people. Su Xiaomin's eyes grew cold, he was furious. So you think being handsome is a big deal? Then, a look of excitement crept into Su Xiaomin's eyes. The hand clutching a black jade pendant slowly lifted. Kill me. Go on, kill me, Yu Longting. Kill me, if you're not afraid of the pendant's backlash killing you in return. The Su family already killed you. Do you really want to die a second time, just to protect a Su family descendant? That black jade pendant was the one meant to protect the Su family. According to what Su Xiaomin was saying, if Yu Longting made a move, he could die. Yu Longting, you should just put Su Xiaomin down. Before I could finish trying to stop him, I was cut off by Yu Longting's harsh, cold voice. Die a second time for her? Is she even worthy? Immediately after, Yu Longting hurled Su Xiaomin into a corner. Su Xiaomin's head slammed against the wall, and blood started gushing out. Second aunt saw this, shrieked, and lunged at Yu Longting. How dare you throw my son? I'll kill you, foolish human. Before second aunt could even get close, Yu Longting flicked his sleeve, and second aunt was sent flying, her head also crashing against the wall. She passed out. In the attic, second uncle went completely insane. Yu Longting, you're so ruthless. I will make all of you regret this. I watched as second uncle was about to choke the life out of my mom. How could I just let that happen? Don't you hurt my mother. I'll come in. Second uncle, it's just an abortion pill, isn't it? I'll take it. Su Wan, don't you come in here. You absolutely can't come in. In that instant, my mom seemed to realize second uncle's scheme and yelled for me to run. Go, hurry, leave this place with Yu Longting. She understood now that even though Yu Longting wanted revenge on our family, he had a shred more integrity than second uncle and his family. I ignored my mom's pleas and, following second uncle's directions, I walked step by step toward the attic door. The triumphant smile on second uncle's face grew more intense. Su Wan, stand still. I'm going in. Suddenly, just as I was about to step into the attic, my wrist was grabbed tightly. I looked back, stunned. But can't you go in? I see a lot of red threads on the floor. I had noticed it earlier. The floor of the attic room was covered in red threads. The threads must have been soaked in sulfur or realgar. Even from far away, they gave me a sense of instinctual revulsion. Fine, then. You go in and get yourself killed. I'll just watch from out here. Yu Longting tilted my chin up. He looked at me with a mocking glint in his eyes. Su Wan, if you're going to be this stupid, you should at least read more. Yu Longting lectured. Before I could even react, he had already moved to second uncle's side. I'm here in Su Wan's place. Do you have any last words you'd like to say? You actually dared to come in? You demon, my older brother killed you once, why are you willing to go to such lengths for his daughter? Second uncle was trembling from head to toe. The hand choking my mom lost all its strength. My mom collapsed to the ground, panting heavily, staring at Yu Longting in utter confusion. Yu Longting scoffed. His slender fingers landed on Uncle Gong's neck and slowly tightened their grip. I told you to say your last words, and this is what you come up with. Don't kill me, Yu Longting. Everything I've done, it's all Su Chongwen's fault. He's our mutual enemy. Second uncle was in a complete panic. The old master, just because I don't have the spirit eye. He passed the life and death embroidery to my older brother and didn't leave me a single scrap. I just wanted a pair of spirit eyes. I just wanted to be the heir to the yin-yang embroidery. I just wanted to make up for what I lacked in my childhood. The more Yu Longting listened, the more impatient he grew. In the end, he didn't even wait for him to finish. With a sickening crack, he snapped second uncle's neck with just his fingers. The moment he died, the jade pendant around his neck floated into the air. It emitted an eerie green light before shattering, releasing a streak of black energy that bored into Yu Longting's chest. He only frowned slightly, showing no other reaction. Then, as if nothing had happened, he picked up my mom and started walking over. But his pace was incredibly slow. That's when I noticed the dense web of red threads on the ground. They seemed to be alive. They instantly wrapped around his legs and swarmed all over his body. Yu Longting. I watched as the red threads clung to his skin. He came out of the attic, set my mom down, and then collapsed to his knees in agony. Right in front of me, a ball of fire erupted from his palm, burning the abortion medicine he'd taken from second uncle to ashes. Su Wan, I need to recover for a few days. Don't you dare try to get an abortion while I'm gone. I won't. I definitely won't get an abortion. I walked towards him. Are you okay? I'll go get the bra tomorrow. No, I'll go in a little while. You women are ruthless. Even in my condition, you still want me to save your mother's life? Yu Longting let out a derisive laugh and vanished before my very eyes. His words struck me like a blow. That's not what I meant. Yu Longting, you completely misunderstood me. I was trying to ask him if, after we found the bra, he could use my life to save my mom's instead. Su Wan, what's wrong? My vision started to blur. My body felt weightless as I collapsed, my mom's worried cries filling my ears. When I woke up, I was in a van that was already pulling up to my house. My mom rushed to my side. Wan, you're finally awake. Do you feel unwell anywhere? I'm fine. I was probably just frightened earlier. Suddenly, it hit me that second uncle was dead, even though he had conspired with the fox demon to harm us. I never wanted him to die. When Su Xiaomin and second aunt find out, they won't let this go. Can you ask the driver to take us to the cliff first? You want to go find that box you threw away? My mom's face went pale, but my mind was made up. This time, no matter how much she objected, I was going to do things my way. Why don't we wait until tomorrow and hire a few people to go down? My mom was no longer against the idea of getting the bra. There's no rush. In your condition, you can't go to the cliff. I bit my lip, frustrated, and decided to go home and figure out another plan. As soon as we got home, my mom asked nervously, do you think Su Xiaomin and his mother will call the police? Even though Yu Longting was the one who killed him, Su Xiaomin and second aunt didn't see it happen. They'll probably assume it was us. And we can't exactly tell them a spirit did it, can we? No one would ever believe us. My mom pursed her lips, took out her key, and unlocked the door. Let's just take it one step at a time. But the moment she pushed the door open, my mom suddenly screamed. What is it? Followed her gaze and froze as well. There, in the most prominent spot on the wall, an exquisitely made bra was hanging. It had come back all by itself. Mom, Yu Longting really is powerful, I said, cheekily breaking the long silence. My mom's expression was a bit stiff. After a long moment, she pulled me into the house with her. In the dead of night, I secretly stood on a stool and took the bra down from the wall. I impulsively cut my finger and dripped a drop of blood onto the bra. I piously put my hands together. Yu Longting, please don't misunderstand. I want to use my own lifespan to save my mom. I hope you can help me. Suddenly, in the desolate night, the sound of a crisp knock echoed at the door. My heart instantly tightened. Then, I heard an old voice from the doorway. Third quarter of the tiger hour, the fox lights the lantern. An auspicious time for a wedding. The bride must come out. A bridal sedan chair for a wedding? What does that mean? I was so scared I got goosebumps all over. Could Su Xiaomin and second aunt be awake? Had they found someone to get revenge on my mom and me? Come out, little bride. The sedan chair is ready. That old voice called out again, this time with a hint of a sinister laugh. I clutched the bra to my chest and tiptoed to the door. I peered outside through a small hole in the broken wooden door. My eyes were met with an unsettling, ghostly green light, followed by a series of chilling cackles. Hee Su Wan, I see you. I subconsciously stumbled back several steps. I held the bra in my arms even tighter. Zhang Luni's deathly pale face appeared in the hole. His turquoise eyes stared at me with a cold smirk. I thought of that fox-faced old woman at Su Chongshun's house. Just then, I heard footsteps behind me. I jumped in fear and whipped around. Who is it? It's me. It was my mom's voice. She was standing in the living room off to the side. The lights weren't on. Standing there, she was just a dark silhouette. My mom looked at the cut on my finger. Su Wan, you still did it. Using your own blood to make the bra accept you as its master. Now is not the time to talk about this. Outside there's an old demon outside. I told my mom, trembling. I think it's the one who was helping Su Chongshun harm me. My mom slowly walked toward me, step by step. She looked rather sinister. Oh, is that so, Su Wan? Let me see your bra. Why do you want to see the bra? I asked, confused. Outside, the chattering of foxes rose and fell. Just then, my mom suddenly walked right up to me, stared into my eyes, and said, Wan, I don't want to die. I've decided, I'm going to wear this bra to extend my life. Mom, you're finally willing to wear it? This is wonderful. I handed her the bra, my face filled with joy. But in that instant, a strange, ghostly green light flashed in the depths of my mom's eyes. I didn't even have time to process what was happening. On guard, I pulled the bra back. Why you don't seem right. Before I could even finish speaking, the bra was snatched from my hands. A cold glint flashed from the scissors in her palm. In that split second, I guessed what she was about to do. Those were yin-yang scissors. I lunged forward, desperately trying to stop her, wrapping my hand around the sharp blades. It was as if my mom didn't care about me at all. She sliced down hard, severely injuring my hand. Blood gushed out, spraying all over the bra. A sharp pain shot through me, and my vision went black. My mom viciously shoved me away. I stumbled back a few steps before I steadied myself, my vision barely clearing. I saw my mom cutting the bra to shreds. Yu Longting, you can forget about ever waking up in this lifetime. I'll cut you to pieces. For getting in my way. Who are you? You're not my mom. I watched with my own eyes as my own. Mom's face began to change, looking more and more like that old monster from the doorway. White fur grew on her skin, and her eyes turned completely green. Her features were twisting, looking more and more like an animal's. She was holding those bloody yin-yang scissors. Stepping on the shredded pieces of a bra on the floor, she walked slowly toward me. Who am I? I'm your husband, hee hee hee. My mom smiled creepily at me, but my feet were frozen to the spot, unable to move. You're lying. I don't even know you. Marry me, Su Wan. Marry me. My mom's icy hand caressed my cheek. Her mouth, full of ape-like teeth, opened and closed, calling my name. Is she possessed? Mom, wake up. It's me, Su Wan. Are you Zhan Jing? What in the world are you doing to my mom? Su Ying, you can't escape. You're mine, my mom said with a strange laugh. I tried to press the pressure point under her nose. Mom, look at me. It's Su Wan. Zhan Jing, get out of my mom's body right now. Wan, don't worry about me. A strained, hoarse voice came from my mom's throat, and she gave me a push. I watched as tears of blood streamed from her eye sockets, the murky depths of her eyes once again consumed by an evil presence. You'll marry him whether you want to or not. Yu Longting has already been severely wounded by the backlash from my jade pendant. He's never coming for you. I snatched the scissors from my mom's hand. Using every last ounce of my strength, I tied her to a chair. Shut up. Nothing is going to happen to Yu Longting. I rushed to the kitchen to grab a pair of chopsticks. By the time I got back to my mom, her fingernails had grown long and sharp. I grabbed her hand. I used the chopsticks to clamp down hard on her fingers. It said that chopsticks, with one square end and one round end, represent the round heavens and the square earth. A pair of chopsticks contains both yin and yang. Using them to pinch the fingers of a person possessed by evil is said to be able to wake them. It hurts so much. My mom convulsed in pain. Su Wan, stop, or I won't let you off. Just then, a tuft of white fluff came out of my mom's mouth. The strange changes to her body began to disappear, bit by bit. A short while later, my mom wearily opened her eyes. Su Wan, what happened? I untied the ropes from my mom and helped her to the bed. A hint of confusion crossed my mom's face. Then she seemed to remember something. I heard a knocking at the window. I opened it to take a look and saw a patch of green. And then I don't remember anything after that. From now on, if you hear a noise like that at night, don't open the door. And don't open the window either. That way, those evil things shouldn't be able to get in. I warned my mom. Suddenly, a faint metallic scraping sound came from the front door. I hurried over to take a look. I saw a piece of wire poking through the keyhole, feeling for the latch on our door. I rushed over and threw my weight against the door. Go away. It is your destiny to enter his coffin and lie with him. You will use your life to awaken him. An irresistible force struck, instantly throwing the door wide open. I staggered back and fell to the ground. Cold moonlight spilled across the floor. Standing in the doorway was an old woman in a red jacket with a chalk-white face. This white-faced old woman had the head of a fox. It was none other than Hu Popo from Su Changchun's household, one of Zhan Jing's minions. Hu Popo was beaming, her old, white-furred face looking exceptionally strange. Let's go, my lady, the fox wife. I'm not going. I don't want to be a fox wife. I turned on my heel and ran, but I didn't even make it 2 steps. When a hemp rope suddenly flew out from behind me, tying me up tight. A group of clothed foxes trotted over and actually picked me up. My mom heard the noise and came out of her room, just in time to see this. She screamed and chased after us. Su Wan. Put Su Wan down. Give me back my daughter. But I had already been shoved into a bridal sedan chair outside. This group of foxes carried me away at a run, and it was incredibly bumpy inside the sedan chair. I was tied up and couldn't keep my balance, so I fell wretchedly from my seat. I was shaken until my head was spinning. Where on earth are you taking me? Fox grave. That Granny Hu, her face covered in fur, lifted the sedan curtain and gave me a grotesque smile. The sudden sight of her terrifying face scared me so much my heart almost stopped. I'm not going to the fox grave. Let me out. That's not up to you. In this world, only you can awaken the master. Granny Hu dropped the curtain, her voice drifting in, cold and eerie. My vision blurred, the world spun, and I passed out. When I woke up, I felt a deep chill all over. I had also been changed into a bright red wedding dress. I suppose in order to change me. The ropes binding me were gone. I pinched my own face, hard. Ow, that hurts. What just happened wasn't a dream. This is just too absurd. I quickly used the sedan for support as I got up to escape. Not far away, I saw the furry, humanoid backs of several figures. They were actually carrying hoes and digging a grave. Su Wan, you're finally awake. Granny Hu's old, sinister voice called out. I was about to run when I realized I couldn't move my feet at all. My feet began to walk forward against my will. At that moment, the foxes suddenly dropped their hoes and backed away. Step by step, I walked toward the open grave. Inside the pit lay a coffin. Lying inside was a young man in black robes, with a terrifyingly malevolent aura about him. He was clutching a black jade pendant in his palm. Well, aren't you going to jump in? Or does this old lady need to give you a hand? Granny Hu threatened viciously. A chill ran down my spine, and I involuntarily stepped toward the pit. This is Zanjing's coffin. He wants me to be buried alive with him? A joint burial, Granny Hu corrected. But the master will awaken soon. You will be buried here in his place. No, I can't die. I still have a sick mother to take care of. As that thought flashed through my mind, I thrust my hand behind my back, under the wedding dress. I felt a human-shaped paper charm and quickly ripped it off. My body instantly felt light. I scrambled back several steps and, seeing my chance, kicked Granny Hu straight into the grave pit. Why don't you go keep him company? No, save me. Help. I had kicked Granny Hu right into the grave. The surrounding foxes screeched, wanting to help, but it was already too late. Granny Hu had already fallen in, and the entire coffin was sinking deeper and deeper. Terrified, Granny Hu scrambled with all four paws, trying to climb out. Su Wan, I'm not done with you. How dare you do this to me? I turned and ran for my life. All the surrounding foxes became ferocious and swarmed towards me. Get away, all of you, stay away from me. So it was true. These monsters really are afraid of pure human blood. Every single one of them dodged away. Terrified, I ran frantically through the night. I tore off the wedding dress and threw it aside. I was running in such a panic that I didn't see a broken tombstone at my feet. I was instantly tripped, falling hard. Enduring the sharp pain from the fall, I scrambled to my feet, only to see next to them Fox's paw reaching out from the ground, about to grab my ankle. I scrambled to my feet and ran, but countless ghouls suddenly burst out from all the nearby graves. My ankle was grabbed and I was yanked violently to the ground as the earth in front of me suddenly caved in. Dirt kept falling into a square pit, and then a coffin slowly emerged from it. Inside the coffin was a white skeleton, lying next to that young man in black. The skeleton's form was bizarre and demonic, with the pure white skull of a fox. But it had a human body, a small and short one at that. Was that what Granny Hu had turned into? In the coffin, the young man slowly opened his eyes. His turquoise pupils were as terrifying as will-o'-the-wisps. Su Wan, come down and keep me company. No, help. I struggled to pull my captured ankle free, but it was no use. It dragged me into the grave pit, little by little. I will definitely have a good taste of Yu Longting's woman. Just then, the bright moon broke through the clouds. An incredibly handsome face appeared before me, though his expression was lazy and carefree. The man grabbed me by the back of my collar with one hand, stopping my fall. Are you daydreaming? A teapot I've used, I'd rather smash it than let anyone else touch it. Let alone a woman. Yu Longting, save me. In my panic, I threw my arms tightly around Yu Longting's neck. In the coffin, Zanjing was enraged. You actually managed to wake up again to ruin my plans. You're stealing the mother of my child to be buried with you. And you have the nerve to blame me for ruining your plans? Are you insane? Zanjing was shocked. What are you doing? You're severely injured, you wouldn't dare use magic. So you do know it was you mangy fox, who injured me. If I don't teach you a lesson, you'll forget who's your daddy. Yu Longting flicked his sleeve, and countless black snakes flew out from within its wide folds. The black snakes leapt into the coffin, biting and coiling around Zanjing. You better remember this. I'll make sure you and Su Wan are damned for eternity. For some reason, Zanjing was unable to move inside the coffin. He was quickly enveloped by the dense swarm of countless black snakes. Finally, the lidless coffin sank deep into the ground and vanished without a trace. I stared blankly and swallowed. Is Zanjing finished? Finished, my ass. This is all your fault, you little idiot, Yu Longting said as he set me down on the ground. He freed a hand and flicked my forehead hard. You fed an 800-year-old, cultivated old fox to him. He'll probably recover his strength very quickly now. That old fox that turned into a skeleton wanted to dig out your spirit eyes to enhance her own cultivation. Zanjing wanted to marry you to awaken his dormant true form. After all, you're a descendant of the Su family, and your bloodline can awaken him. Your second uncle wants our child to make into a bra to complete his white-gray dream. As Yu Longting explained these things one by one, I was horrified. Why'd I feel like I'm Tang Sanzeng? After I got home, I slept until noon. I told my mom I had cut the bra to pieces. My mom asked for the reason and looked guilty. And then I saw the bra, still hanging on the living room wall. Completely undamaged. Everything that was happening was just too bizarre. So, I rummaged through our things for a long time and found my dad's tattered old notebook. I told my mom I wanted to learn what was written in it. Su Xiaomin's family still holds a grudge. And Zanjing is looking for a chance to get revenge. I can't always rely on Yu Longting. There will be times he's not available. My mom was reluctant, but she agreed and gave me an address. Since it was already late and the house was a bit far, I decided I would have to go see Granny Rongwu tomorrow. But just then, someone knocked on the door. Who is it? My mom asked gravely. Auntie Lin, it's me, little he. Are you home? It was He Yufei's voice from outside. He Yufei is our neighbor. We went to the same elementary school. He graduated from a technical school and seems to work at the factory in town. My mom's tone wasn't friendly. If you have something to say, just say it. The Dragon Boat Festival is coming up, so my mom made some zanzi for me to bring over for you all to eat. Yufei said in a pleasant tone, completely unfazed by the cold shoulder. Compared to the little punk he was in elementary school, Yufei seemed to have straightened up quite a bit. That's when I remembered the Dragon Boat Festival was just 3 days away. I was about to say something, but a look from my mom stopped me. She said sternly, "We appreciate the thought, but take the Zongzi back. We've made our own." "Lin Wei, why are you being so formal? We've been good neighbors for over 10 years. Yufei's tone was a little awkward. My mom pressed her lips together and said nothing more. Yufei waited at the door for a moment, then spoke again. "My mom's calling me home for dinner. I'll just leave the rice dumplings by the door. You and Su Wan can come out and get them yourselves in a bit." I tiptoed over and peeked through a crack in the wooden door. Several young punks with wild, nest-like hair were standing in front of our house, holding baseball bats and staring menacingly. There was a red plastic bag on the ground in front of our door. Yufei was pacing back and forth. He was smoking, looking incredibly agitated. I glanced back at my mom, absolutely horrified. So this Yufei was completely two-faced, deliberately setting a trap for 2 defenseless women like my mom and me. He actually brought 4 or 5 guys with him. Seeing the look on my face, my mom also peeked through the small hole. Color drained from her face. "Why are there so many of them? Should we call the police? Let's wait and see. Maybe they'll leave in a little while." How did this mother-daughter duo suddenly get so smart? They're just refusing to take the bait. Yufei kicked the wooden door with his leather boot. His face was filled with irritation. The blonde-haired young man next to him looked at the door. He said, "Faye, there's a hole in this door. You don't think they saw us, do you? That must be why they won't open up. That fucking bitch, playing dumb with me, huh?" Yufei's face suddenly twisted into a vicious snarl. The kick was so hard the whole door rattled. "So you knew I was coming to borrow the bra and you're doing this on purpose, aren't you?" The impact made both my mom and me stumble back a step. But just before Yufei kicked, I thought I saw a black mass on his shoulder. My mom was seething with anger. The Su family's silver charm bra is never to be lent out. That is an absolute rule. That rule of yours applies to other people, not to me. My sister-in-law is terminally ill. Without that bra of yours, I won't be able to face my brother. Yufei threatened, enunciating every word. My mom said firmly, "When you came to borrow the bra for your sister-in-law last time, I already told you no. You just don't know what's good for you." Yufei lifted the baseball bat in his hand and slammed it hard against the door. "Get 'em, boys. Smash this door down." The punks around Yufei swung their bats and started bashing the door. My mom was already pale as a ghost. I took another peek through the little hole. I quickly confirmed what was on Yufei's shoulder and opened the notebook my father had left behind. I found the right page. A black cat sits on the shoulder of a person who will die within 3 months. I steadied myself, took a deep breath, and called out, "Yufei, you're not trying to borrow the bra for your sister-in-law at all. You're borrowing it for yourself." The banging that had been so loud just a moment ago suddenly stopped. Outside, it was so quiet you could hear a pin drop. "Su Wan, you're home too, huh?" Yufei forced a faint smile. "What kind of nonsense are you spouting?" I clenched my fists. "The truth is, you're terminally ill too. Did the doctor tell you that you only have 3 months left?" Faye? The punks with Yufei were all dumbfounded. Clearly, they had no idea Yufei didn't have long to live. Yufei bit down hard on the cigarette butt in his mouth. "So, are you going to lend it to me or not? Even if you do borrow it, you'll only get to live for 3 more years. Have you ever thought about it? 3 years goes by in the blink of an eye." I flipped through the notebook and found a page on the sickness-dispelling garment. This garment is a type of merit clothing. If the wearer accumulates merit by doing good deeds, it might just cure their illness. It might not do much for a terminal illness, but I plan to use it to temporarily stabilize Yufei. Outside, Yufei suddenly burst out laughing. "Su Xiaomin said your Su family knows the art of yin-yang life and death embroidery. There's a garment called borrowed life, right? And don't blame your cousin. You and your mother killed his biological father. He's itching to grind your bones to dust but lacks the evidence." Yufei raised an eyebrow, a twisted, evil smile on his face. "Have your mom make one for your big brother here. From now on, I'll protect you, and you can be my girlfriend. As for Su Xiaomin, he won't dare lay a single finger on you. I don't need your protection, and I don't want to be your girlfriend. I'll make the garment for you. Come back in 3 days to get it," I declared confidently to Yufei. Yufei was skeptical. "You'll really make it for me? Do you even know how to make clothes? I am the sole blood heir to the yin-yang life and death embroidery. Do you think I can make it or not?" Yufei was terminally ill and had no other choice but to believe my words. He snarled viciously, "I'll give you 3 days. If you dare to trick me, don't blame me for getting rough with you and your mom." After he said that, he and his men got on their motorcycles and left. I stood there, flipping through my notebook to find the records on the borrowed life garment. My mom took the notebook from me, turned to the very back, and pointed to the torn marks on the last page. "Stop looking, you won't find it. See? The records about the borrowed life garment have been torn out." "Why?" I asked, not understanding. My mom looked utterly exhausted. Because it's a forbidden art that offends both heaven and reason. You mean this borrowed life garment borrows life from someone else? That's right. It's such a heinous act. Even if we knew how, we can't do it. Then what are we going to do in 3 days? I've already thought it through. Tomorrow, after I get back from Granny Wu's, we'll move. My eyes lit up as I looked at my mom. She was very surprised. Move? Move where? We don't have enough money to rent a place. For now, we'll have to find work at a restaurant or some place that provides room and board. We'll go somewhere far away and start a new life. I suggested this so confidently because too many people had been prying into our family's business. If we don't abandon this place, the trouble will be endless. The next day, halfway through breakfast, a call came from Uncle Zhang. Uncle Yang's full name is Zhang Shangkin. He was my father's best friend when he was alive, and he has taken good care of my mother and me over the years. Yesterday, I called Uncle Zhang, and he agreed to take me to Granny Wu's village. I got on the motorcycle and sat securely on the back seat. From Uncle Yang's tone, it seemed like he knew Granny Wu. I casually asked, and Uncle Zhang paused. Although I couldn't see his face, the aura he gave off felt incredibly cold. I was about to ask you, why did you suddenly want to go see Granny Wu? My mom said that if I want to inherit the Su family's life and death embroidery, I have to go find Granny Wu. I don't know what she wants me to do. I had a vague feeling that neither my mom nor Uncle Zhang wanted me to inherit the yin-yang life and death embroidery. Uncle Zhang didn't try to stop me. He just said faintly, "You'll know when you see Granny Wu." I agreed and didn't say another word for the rest of the ride. The country roads were long and desolate. The air along the way was filled with the smell of organic fertilizer from the vegetable fields. There was about a half-hour ride between restrooms. If you missed one, you'd have to ride for another half an hour. Uncle Zhang stopped in front of a simple restroom. He took off his helmet and hung it on the handlebars. "I'm going to use the restroom first. If you need to go, the women's restroom is right next to it." "Okay, you go ahead. I'll watch the bike for you out here." I looked around. Both sides of the road were lined with deep, dense forest. Even though there was no one around, I remained vigilant. Before he left, Uncle Zhang tossed me the bike keys to hold onto. "When I come out, I'll tell you some things about your father and Granny Wu." "Okay, thank you, Uncle Zhang." Just 10 odd seconds later, a dull thud echoed in my ears. I looked toward the restroom where the sound came from and saw someone walking out. Without warning, the club struck Uncle Zhang on the forehead. The man shot me a provocative glance. "Su Wan, I've been waiting for you." I held it in for more than 10 minutes in this stinking hellhole. Uncle Zhang swayed a few times before collapsing, his head covered in blood. The color instantly drained from my face. "He Yufei, why did you hit Uncle Zhang? Anyone who gets in the way has to be dealt with first." He Yufei walked towards me, his club dripping with blood. My legs went soft as I took half a step back. "I'll give you the clothes in 3 days. Don't come any closer. The clothes aren't needed anymore." He Yufei's gaze was incredibly strange, as if it were glued to my body. I was almost certain I knew what he was planning to do. He quickly straddled the motorcycle. "Still trying to run, Su Wan? I'm going to have my fun with you today." He Yufei let out a whistle. "Boys, stop her." A few engines roared from the dense woods nearby, and 2 men on motorcycles sped out. The young men raced towards me, trying to ram me. In a panic, I gunned the engine. Frantically, I weaved the bike like a snake into the dense forest, with the 2 other motorcycles in hot pursuit. I didn't dare to let up for a second, bracing myself as I clumsily swerved and dodged the trees. I rode chaotically through the messy forest, trying my best to shake the 2 guys behind me. My riding skills were terrible, but I pushed the bike to its maximum speed. The dense forest was already damp. The ground was covered in layers of decaying leaves, and a thin, white mist suddenly began to envelop everything. Luckily, I could still see the path ahead. An eerie green light appeared before me. It looked like a will-o'-the-wisp floating in the mist. I focused my eyes to get a better look. It was actually a red fox. The fox was perched on a thick, exposed root. It grinned at me. That green light was actually the fox's eyes. "There you are, you little bitch. Let's see you run now." In the moment I was distracted, 3 motorcycles pulled up in front of me. With a thud, my motorcycle was hit and sent flying. In that split second as my body was thrown into the air, it was as if by instinct. My hand subconsciously fell to my lower abdomen. A soft voice whispered in my ear, "Don't hurt her. Don't hurt my mommy." Who is that? Who's talking to me? My vision went black as my back slammed against a moss-covered tree. A sharp pain shot through my back as if my spine had snapped, and the heavy motorcycle landed on top of my legs. Along with the smell of gasoline, a searing pain spread through my leg. "Get the bike off her. The boss is about to get to business." He Yufei's sinister laugh rang out, followed by his 2 lackeys. They too let out lewd chuckles. "Brother Fei is so tough. This little chick is getting lucky tonight." "Brother Fei, after you've had your fill, can you leave some for us? This little bitch is a prime piece of work." "Don't worry," He Yufei said, "there's enough for everyone." The motorcycle pinning my legs down was moved, but my heart only sank deeper into despair. I forced my eyes open and looked at them. "Why are you doing this? If you have to blame someone, blame Su Xiaomin. He's the one who told me you're the legendary spirit maiden. Yufei excitedly undid his belt buckle and started pushing down his pants. What spirit maiden? I've never even heard of that. Su Xiaomin must have been lying to you. I yelled. Lying to me? Yufei muttered as he finished unbuckling his belt. He bent down and grabbed my chin. That's right, I'm asking you. Were you entwined by a snake, and are now carrying a snake's child? Yufei's gaze raked crudely over my belly. So what if I am? Then it's true. It means you're a spirit maiden, pregnant with a snake. Once I have your body, the child will immediately be aborted. And all of your powers will be passed on to me. That has to be a lie. How could something so absurd be true? I could feel Yufei's lips getting closer. I shoved him away with all my might. Get away from me. If anything happens to me, there'll be no one left to make those life-extending clothes for you. You'd better think this through. Even Granny Wu said so. How could it be a lie? Yufei started to roughly rip open his own shirt. Seeing him lunge at me, I quickly pulled out the small knife I had hidden on me. Stay back. Don't you dare touch me. Tisk tisk, a feisty one. The wilder they are, the more I like it. Seeing the knife didn't scare Yufei. Instead, it seemed to unleash the beast in him. One of his lackeys suddenly grabbed my wrist and snatched the knife from my hand. Trying to hurt our brother Fei? You've got some nerve, you bitch. Women need to be taught a harsh lesson. Otherwise, they won't behave. A henchman slapped me hard across the face. I clutched my stomach tightly with my hands. Don't you bully my mommy. Suddenly, a young, childish voice came from my belly. Instantly, a snake-like black shadow emerged from my abdomen and violently knocked down the lunging Yufei. How exciting. You really do have a snake child in your belly. But falling to the ground only made Yufei more excited. Quick, give me the snake-repelling talisman. Yufei took a yellow paper talisman from his lackey's hand. Ignoring my struggles, he crawled on top of me. Tisk. How interesting. Someone dares to bully my wife and child? The reek of cigarettes and alcohol on Yufei's breath was so strong I thought I was going to pass out. He was just a millimeter away from kissing my face when suddenly, Yufei's back went stiff, and he turned his head. He saw his two henchmen kneeling on the ground in terror, with black snakes wrapped around their necks. They were being strangled, unable to do anything but beg for their lives. Mercy, help me, Brother Fei. Snake Lord, it's the Snake Lord. Brother Fei. As he looked up, he saw a handsome, cold man standing before him with a faint smile. Yufei was frozen stiff, his eyes wide with terror as he stared ahead. Then I'll grant you death by 10,000 snake bites. The man smiled faintly. No, Snake Lord. It was Su Xiaomin who sent me to do this. He told me to wait outside Su Wan's house in advance, to follow her and find a chance to strike. I was completely bewitched by him. So Su Xiaomin told you I was seriously injured and wouldn't wake up? Is that why you were so bold? Yufei trembled. Yes, that's right. That's how it was. No. I wasn't trying to take advantage of your injury to go after Su Wan. It's all a misunderstanding. Yu Longting flicked his sleeve, and from it flew out 10,000 snakes of all different kinds. The colorful, long snakes covered Yufei's entire body, biting and tearing at him frantically. Yufei's blood-curdling screams echoed throughout the entire forest. You're finally here. I was so scared. Losing control, I threw myself at him, wrapped my arms around his neck, and burst into tears. Seeing me cry, he started to look flustered. Then I suddenly remembered the snake shadow in my belly. My stomach was starting to hurt a little, and I began to worry. Can you take a look for me? Let me see. Yu Longting touched my stomach. He just used up all his spiritual energy to protect you. Just used a little bit of magic, so I'm fine now. I touched my belly, and the pain instantly vanished. My hand was still clutching his sleeve. Can I trouble you for a moment to get me out of here? It seems like someone has cast a disorientation spell in here. I have to get out and find Uncle Zhang. He's hurt. Will he be alright? It won't take long. Yu Longting took my hand, and in an instant, we were at the door of that remote restroom. Uncle Zhang was lying in a pool of blood. Help, Uncle Zhang. The blood on Uncle Yang's forehead had almost completely clotted. His face was terribly pale, and the sight of it made my heart panic. I was incredibly nervous. Yu Longting placed a long finger on Uncle Yang's pulse point. This person has lost too much blood. His pulse is very weak. I immediately started to feel anxious. But Yu Longting suddenly stared at me. You're going to see Granny Wu, right? I'll go with you. Once we get there, we can save your Uncle Zhang. Just as Yu Longting finished speaking, a car drove up from not too far away. A young man who looked like a Taoist priest got out of the car and came over, bowing respectfully. Lord Serpent, the young Taoist priest loaded the unconscious Uncle Zhang into the car. Yu Longting opened the car door and had me get in first. It was only when we were almost there that I remembered something important. I didn't know if Granny Wu was a good person or not. I've heard Yufei mention her. Oh, tell me about it. Yu Longting's hand naturally came to rest on my waist, stroking my belly. I figured he just wanted to touch his child, so I didn't dare object and spoke softly. Yufei told me himself. Granny Wu said I'm a spirit maiden. A spirit maiden bearing a serpent's child, to be exact. It was because of what Granny Wu said that Yufei tried to bully me. I don't know if Granny Wu will genuinely help save Uncle Zhang if I ask her. Granny Wu has lived all these years for nothing. What a vile mouth on her. I'll go and teach her a lesson for you. This is a perfect chance to make an example of her and show all these other mystics they'd better watch their step. All of a sudden, my face flushed red. Why was I acting so much like a primary school student tattling to their teacher? Yu Longting looked at my burning red cheeks. We're here, follow me. Yu Longting took my hand, got out of the car, and led the way. I followed behind him. It was only when we reached the main hall that I realized. It turns out Granny Wu was actually a rice fortune teller who read people's fates. But before my mom told me to become a tailor, why did she come looking for a rice fortune teller? Yu Longting led me into the room where Granny Wu lived. The moment I stepped inside, I jumped in fright. Snakes were slithering out endlessly from a rice bucket on the table. Granny Wu was sitting beside it. The handful of rice in her hands was completely moldy, just like her ashen, furious expression. Well, look how big this little girl has grown. Granny Wu lifted her head and took a breath. Lord Serpent. In a flash, it's been several thousand years since we've seen each other. Why on earth are you ruining my business? Why on earth? Am I such an unreasonable person? As Yu Longting spoke, there was a terrifying authority in his voice. Granny Wu's body shuddered violently. Then she saw me, and her eyes fixed on my belly. Her lips turned purple with fright. Of course you're not an unreasonable person, then could it be the child in Su Wan's belly? Is this yours? You're only just realizing that now? Terrified, Granny Wu instantly dropped to her knees. And my eyes are suddenly better. So you're the snake immortal Lord Fox said was tricked by the Su family. Lord Fox. Out of that entire sentence, the only thing Yu Longting seemed to focus on were those two words. I watched as cold sweat dripped down Wu Popo's forehead. I misspoke, it was a complete slip of the tongue. There is only one lord here. If I hear another slip of the tongue, I'll send you to meet him personally, Yu Longting threatened, as if showing great mercy. Wu Popo nodded her head like a chicken pecking at rice. Oh, I didn't do it on purpose. I was just telling Su Xiaomin and the others about the Su girl's identity as a spirit maiden. One of you is the Fox Lord, the other is the Snake Lord. I can't afford to offend either of you. And you don't know which of us is worse to offend? Yu Longting let out a soft laugh. Wu Popo answered shrewdly. Of course, I can't offend you, my lord. That Fox Lord he's nothing. Corner of Yu Longting's mouth twitched into a smirk. Bring the man in. The young Taoist priest carried Uncle Zhang in and placed him on a wooden bed. Wu Popo immediately rushed over to check his pulse. This man has lost so much blood, he's practically in a death-like state. Can you save him? I walked over and took Uncle Yang's hand. It was unnaturally cold, not like a living person's at all. My heart sank, and I leaned in to check if he was breathing. There was nothing. He wasn't breathing at all. How am I supposed to save him? Wu Popo blurted out, then she glanced at me. Wait a minute, you're the heir to the yin-yang life and death embroidery. I nodded furiously. My gut told me that one of the garments from the life and death embroidery could probably save Uncle Zhang. Wu Popo really didn't seem to like me. She just gave me a cold stare. Then, she turned and walked towards the room next door. You, come with me. Wu Popo led me to a basement. She pointed to a dusty pile of fabric. Take this bolt, and that needle and thread over there. Make it yourself. Make it? Doesn't your Su family have a garment specifically for healing external injuries? It clicked for me in an instant. So besides being a spirit medium, it seemed Wu Popo's role was also to be the special supplier of raw materials for my Su family's garments. After that, I carried the bolt of cloth and followed Wu Popo upstairs to take Uncle Yang's measurements. Then, scratching my head in frustration, I pulled out the notebook I always carry and flipped to the section on external wounds. It then took me a good 4 hours to finish. After all, it was my first time making one, and I was unfamiliar with the whole process. I finally understood just how physically draining making life and death embroidery is. By the time I finished, I felt like I was going to collapse. After I draped it over Uncle Zhang, I realized one sleeve was longer than the other. The young man, who had been expressionless the whole time, couldn't stop the corner of his lip from twitching. I saw that and said sheepishly, it's my first time, so it looks a bit awful. It's very awful. To avoid any further embarrassment, once this man is done with it, the garment is mine. Yu Longting suddenly scooped me up into his arms. I immediately shook my head like a rattle drum. No, I couldn't. I protested, seeing him walk towards the car parked at Wu Popo's door. I quickly said, I still haven't asked Wu Popo about learning the yin-yang life and death embroidery. What the hell is there to ask? She's just a supplier. From now on, just come get what you need. Yu Longting said dismissively. Just then, we saw Wu Popo come chasing out after us. Lord Snake, the snake you left at my house. Did you forget to take it with you? I didn't forget. It's a gift. You like it, don't you? Wu Popo looked completely exasperated. Wu Popo spoke up again. But there's something I'm not sure if I should say. Then don't. You'll save yourself from pissing me off and getting yourself killed. Yu Longting pulled open the car door, shutting her down bluntly. Wu Popo glanced over at me, model. With a sudden coldness and hostility in her expression, she said, even if you kill me, I'm still going to say it. The Su family has screwed you over so badly. A girl from the Su family isn't worthy of you treating her so well. And she certainly doesn't deserve you saving her lifetime and time again. Granny Wu, you know you're going to die. A terrifying killing aura surged from within Yu Longting's sleeves. I quickly grabbed his sleeve. I pushed back the snake's head that was about to emerge. Calm down. Calm down. My Su family was in the wrong from the start. Granny Wu is right. Granny Wu's face turned deathly pale. She muttered to herself in a low voice. Say that again. It was as if Yu Longting's jet black eyes were stained with something dark. I could feel his gaze on me. As if it would stare right through me. I swallowed hard. Silently tried to guess what he wanted me to say. I cautiously ventured, the Su family was in the wrong from the start. Granny Wu was right, don't kill anyone. Since I didn't know the right answer, I figured I'd treat it like a multiple choice question. In the end, Yu Longting didn't express any opinion. With an indifferent expression, he picked me up and sat me down in the back seat of the car. It's true what they say, serving a lord is like living with a tiger. This guy is way too unpredictable. I was so scared I didn't dare to speak casually. Yu Longting, I want to extend my mom's life, but I'm definitely not trying to demand anything from you. If I could, I'd want to use my own, she's the only family I have left. I can't lose her. Can you please? Before I could even finish, Yu Longting patted my head and said directly. Then have her wear that bra, too. No, that's not necessary. It looks better on you, Yu Longting said, leaning back nonchalantly against the seat. You saying that without wearing the bra? My mom's illness can still get better? It can. Could it really be that easy? Just one word from Yu Longting, and my mom's illness would be cured. I lowered my head and said, thank you. Don't thank me. As Yu Longting's clear, cold voice sounded. I gradually started to relax and told him my decision, as if we were just chatting. My mom and I have decided to move. When we do, we'll need to take that bra with us. So I need to get your permission. He replied, you're going to take me with you? I was a little afraid he would refuse, so I nodded stiffly. Yes. Unless you're not willing, we would definitely have to take you wherever we go. Where do you plan on moving? Yu Longting didn't answer my question directly. He slid his long fingers between mine and took my hand. Then I'll take that as a yes. A little while later, Yu Longting asked me for Uncle Yang's address. After we got there, we handed Uncle Zhang over to his family. Although Uncle Zhang was still unconscious, his life was no longer in danger. I, on the other hand, was exhausted and sore all over from making the clothing. Then, Yu Longting pulled me straight into the bedroom at my house. The next day when I woke up, aside from my head feeling a little heavy, amazingly, the soreness in my body was completely gone. I looked at the spot next to me on the pillow. It was empty. Yu Longting had left again. Su Wan, my mom's startled voice came from the bedroom doorway. I looked up. Mom, are you awake? Awake? I haven't slept a wink all night. My mom's face was indeed a bit haggard. I almost called the police. When did you get back? I thought you'd disappeared. I got back too late, so I just went straight to bed. Yu Longting sent me back. My mom was speechless. Then my mom and I took a coach bus directly to Chungfeng town. We brought very few things with us. Besides the bare necessities, all we had was that one bra. In front of a 3-story duplex restaurant in Chungfeng town, I went in alone to the cashier and saw a middle-aged woman. I told her I was there to apply for a job, and she led me to a small private room. I spoke up first. Ma'am, I'm a very hard worker. I can do anything. Do you have any idea? The probationary salary here is only 1,200 a month. I nodded furiously. I know. Even if you only give me half, that's fine. As long as you're willing to take me, and I also brought my mom with me. Her health isn't good, so I need to keep her by my side to take care of her. You mean I have to take in 2 people at once? Don't you and your mother have a place to stay? The owner's expression changed as she asked. I took a deep breath and explained our situation. I'm afraid I can really only pay you half of that salary. Are you still willing to do it? The owner asked with a frown. I bowed and said, as long as you'll take us in, I'll work without pay. After that, the owner asked for a copy of my ID card and agreed. I quickly ran to the restaurant entrance to tell my mom that I'd been hired. 600 yuan a month. You're so well behaved, of course the owner would hire you. The owner of this restaurant is a good person. She didn't even mind that you have a dependent. My mom gently patted my head and said, after working diligently for a few days, a waitress at the restaurant named Xiao Li told me that the boss's name is Chen De Cheng, and the owner's wife is Chen Shufen. Chen's restaurant is short-staffed, but business isn't exactly booming, so the salary they offer is very low. Before me, a lot of people either couldn't handle it or just deliberately slacked off. Xiao Li said that if she weren't a relative of the Chens and her family didn't have a stake in the restaurant, she wouldn't have been able to keep doing it either. It seemed like I was the only one who worked hard without complaining and didn't think the pay was too low. Xiao Li and I gradually became good friends. I was just chatting with Xiao Li when the owner, Chen Shufen, called me over. Ma'am, you called for me? Is there something you need me to do? Seeing how enthusiastic I was, Chen Shufen couldn't stop smiling. I'm here to give you your salary. Remember to deposit it in the bank. It's not safe to carry it around in case you run into a pickpocket. After getting my salary, I thought it over and over, and my mind turned to Granny Wu. Maybe I could try to earn money with my clothes making skills, although I know absolutely nothing about the business. I didn't even know if 600 would be enough to buy fabric. 2 hours later, I arrived at Granny Wu's house. I happened to run into Granny Wu just as she was coming out of her room. It had only been 2 months since I last saw her. She looked as if she had aged 10 years. Her hair was a mess, like a beggar's. I saw her walking over excitedly, and I thought she was going to hit me. It startled me, but instead, Granny Wu took my hands, trembling. Regretfully, she said, Su Xiaoyang, it was my fault. This old woman was wrong. I shouldn't have spoken ill of you in front of the Serpent Lord. I'm begging you, please be the bigger person. Please forgive me this one time. You weren't wrong in the first place. You don't need my forgiveness. I gave an awkward twitch of my lips. Granny Wu said mournfully, and can you please say something to the Serpent Lord? Ask him to take all these snakes back. I'll definitely tell him the next time I see him. I glanced at the black snakes surrounding the mansion. I agreed, feeling completely exasperated. The swarm of snakes hasn't been here for half a month, have they? How pitiful. I was so confused last time. I didn't realize you were a good girl. That's why I misjudged you. Granny Wu excitedly pulled me into the house and called out to her grandson. Janglin, we have an honored guest. Go make some tea, and bring out the dried fruits from the drawer. Yes, Grandma, Wu Janglin answered from the inner room. I said, a bit embarrassed, you really don't have to go to all this trouble. I actually came to ask you how much you sell those fabrics and threads for. You're a descendant of the Su family. It's only natural you'd come to me for these things. Unlike the last time when she was so unwelcoming, Granny Wu was now incredibly kind and gentle. It was so different I almost couldn't get used to it. Granny Wu looked at me seriously and added, strictly speaking, I don't charge for the fabrics and silk threads here. You don't charge for them? I said in disbelief. Wu Janglin brought over a full tea set, then went back to put a tray of dried fruits on the table. My grandma means you can take these fabrics and threads to make clothes. And whatever you sell them for, she'll split the profits with you 50-50, Wu Janglin said, sizing me up with a smile. I heard a Hong Kong businessman offered 20 million for that silver jiao bra from your Su family. Tea 20 million? I was so shocked I choked on my tea. Cough, 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 cough. Granny Wu shot Wu Janglin an angry glare. Shouldn't you be studying? Your college entrance exams are right around the corner. I'm going. Geez, Grandma, you're so fierce. Are you sure I'm your real grandson? Wu Janglin pouted and sulked back to his room. The severe, scolding expression on Granny Wu's face immediately softened into a gentle one when she looked at me. Don't mind that little brat and his bragging. After that, Granny Wu and I went to the warehouse to pick out some fabrics. I picked out what I could, since I couldn't carry much more. Granny Wu said the station was pretty far from here, so she had Wu Janglin take me. He drove me to the station, which was 2 or 3 kilometers away. While waiting for the bus, we chatted for a bit. Wu Janglin lit a cigarette. He Yufei is dead, did you know? My expression changed slightly. Wu Janglin waved his hand to explain. I'm not blaming you. My grandma told me. He Yufei was giving you trouble because she leaked the secret of your identity. I stayed silent, unsure of what Wu Janglin was getting at. He Yufei was just a scoundrel. He's ruined so many girls over the years. Wu Janglin squatted on the curb and took a deep drag from his cigarette. He looked up at me. When you see the Serpent Lord, remember to thank him for me. I saw in his eyes a glint of vengeful satisfaction, and I started to have a vague suspicion about what he meant. He did a great job. When they took that guy's body back, there wasn't a single patch of good skin left on him from all the bites. Wu Janglin gave a sarcastic smile. My grandma has no idea that I had a girlfriend. That scumbag is the reason my girlfriend jumped into a river. I still couldn't find any words to say. The atmosphere was a bit heavy. Just then, the bus arrived, so I left. By the time I got back to the little eatery, it was already dark. The owner and his wife were busy preparing for the night market stall. I went upstairs, put my things away, and rolled up my sleeves to go down and help, but Xiao Li stopped me. Boss and his wife told me to stop you from going down. What's wrong? I was pretty surprised, since nighttime is usually the busiest. Xiao Li sighed. To be honest, I'm not entirely sure. Some guy, a gangster type, has been looking for you. His name is Su Xiaomin. He's been asking all over the nearby towns for you. And what a coincidence, just as Xiao Li was saying this, there was a commotion downstairs. Brother Min is here. Someone get over here and serve him. Our brother Min is a disciple of the Fox Lord. Xiao Li, hurry down and take care of our guests. The proprietress called for Xiao Li, completely reigning in her usual fiery temper. She asked amicably, what can I get for you gentlemen? I'm the owner of this restaurant. It's on the house, so order whatever you like. That won't be necessary. I'm not interested in this home-style country cooking. Su Xiaomin's voice drifted up from downstairs. Here, have you seen the girl in this photo? Her name is Su Wan. This girl is gorgeous. If she'd ever come to our restaurant, I would definitely recognize her. But I really have never seen her, the owner, Chen Shufen, said with a smile. Su Xiaomin's voice turned sharp. You're sure you haven't seen her? I heard from the restaurant owner next door that you just hired a new waitress. Xiao Li. What was the name of that new girl again? Chen Shufen asked Xiao Li, who had just run downstairs to greet the customers. Xiao Li replied without missing a beat. Chen Yuan. She's my cousin. My cousin is really, really tan. Nowhere near as fair-skinned as the girl in the picture. Looks like we got the wrong place, boys. Let's check the next place, Su Xiaomin said, signaling for his men to leave. As he walked away, he muttered menacingly, Su Wan. I'll dig 3 feet deep if I have to, but I will drag you out and kill you. Upstairs, I was so terrified that I collapsed onto the floor. Su Xiaomin actually tracked me all the way to Chunfeng town. Thank goodness the owner was so loyal. And Xiao Li was quick-witted enough to cover for me. If not for them, my mom and I would have been finished. Wan, why are you sitting on the floor? My mom came over and helped me up. I gave her a haunted look. Su Xiaomin was just here. I was scared to death. My mom's face instantly turned deathly pale. So, I told her what I'd overheard happening downstairs. I gave her the gist of it. At 10 o'clock that night, the restaurant closed. Mr. and Mrs. Chen pulled my mom and me aside to talk about what happened. My mom was worried we were causing them too much trouble. She even hinted that we should find somewhere else to go, but the Chens managed to calm her down. The owner, Chen Decheng, said that for safety's sake, from now on, instead of Su Wan, we should all just call her Chen Yuan. My mom felt much more relieved and thanked them profusely. Before going to bed, I went to the bathroom to take a shower. I checked the door and windows, drew the curtains, and only then did I start to get undressed. In the mirror in front of me, 2 scales suddenly appeared on my face. I'm pregnant with a snake. Am I turning into a snake, too? I quickly reached up to feel them, but I couldn't feel any scales. Was there something wrong with the mirror? Or was there something on the mirror's surface? I reached out to touch it, but the glass was unusually cold. I snatched my hand back as if I'd gotten an electric shock. In the mirror, my face began to slowly transform. My pupils turned scarlet. My face slowly morphed into the seductive face of a snake demon. My long, slightly yellowed hair from malnutrition was now a deep, raven black, like a bolt of satin. It was unbelievably smooth, and the black strands made my skin look as white as snow. My lips were a seductive, fiery red. The person in the mirror wasn't me. I looked down and could see my own dry, frizzy hair. So I hadn't changed at all. I was seeing someone else. Who are you, model? Why is she in the mirror? I instinctively used the clothes in my hands to cover my body. I took a small step back. The woman in the mirror's lips curled into a strange smile. Her blood-red eyes stared at me grimly as her hand, with its long, sharp nails, reached for me. It caressed my cheek. You slut. What the hell are you? What makes you worthy of Yu Longting? Help, there's a ghost. My hand trembled, and the clothes I was holding fell to the floor. My whole body was stiff and cold. I actually couldn't move. The woman's face turned cold, and she slapped me hard across the face. I'm the snake immortal, your elder. You have eyes but you fail to see who's in front of you. A loud ringing exploded in my ears. The blow sent me sprawling to the ground. My mouth filled with the taste of blood. You're a snake? You like Yu Longting, so you're coming to make trouble for me? Is your filthy mouth worthy of speaking his name? The woman glared at me, and another slap came flying. Yu Longting is mine. Give him back to me. I'm afraid of pain, so I managed to dodge just in time. The force of her palm just grazed past my face. Right. Yu Longting is yours. You can have him. He cares so much about you, yet you don't cherish him. Damn you. The woman, in a flowing red dress, stepped out of the mirror. She grabbed my collar and swung at my face again. How dare you dodge when I hit you? Let's see you dodge this time. Suddenly, I felt a violent squirming in my abdomen. A childish voice, laced with anger, rang out, "Don't you hit my mommy." Bad woman. A dark shadow shot out from my abdomen. It slammed heavily into the red-dressed woman's stomach. The woman staggered back several steps before steadying herself. But instead of anger, her face was filled with excitement. You are the little snake lord? You were actually able to hurt me. Truly worthy of being Yu Longting's child. I touched my belly. Was that my baby in my womb speaking? I was never quite sure before, but this time, I was certain. He can actually speak, I muttered in a low voice. Don't be reckless. Your dad said you'd get hurt if you came out to protect me. This woman isn't fit to be your mother. From what I know, she hates you and wants to get rid of you. The woman pointed at my nose, her face twisted and her eyes crazed. Little snake lord, let me be your mother. I'll definitely treat you well, okay? I only want my mommy, I don't want you. The little one's voice was still so young and tender. It was actually a little cute. Su Ying, it was my fault for hitting you just now. When the woman heard what the little one said, she suddenly changed her tune like a complete psycho. Her expression turned gentle as she knelt down in front of me, her palm, covered in silver scales, caressing my red, swollen cheek. Su Wan, don't worry. I won't kill you, and I won't harm you or the Snake Lord's child. Then what do you want? I watched her, she was clearly up to something. Cold sweat dripped down my forehead. The woman let out a soft chuckle. You only need to say you're willing to give the child to me. You don't have to do anything else. I will carry the little Snake Lord for you. You humans surely don't want to give birth to a snake from your own belly, right? I won't give him to you. If you want a child, go have one with Yu Longting yourself. Don't come trying to steal mine. I shrank back, weakly trying to shield my stomach. I saw the woman instantly fly into a rage. Her sharp claws lunged viciously toward my abdomen. I gave you a chance. Since you don't know what's good for you, I'll come and take it myself. My body curled up even tighter. I subconsciously murmured, don't. Don't take my child away. The next second, my body was lifted into the air as someone picked me up.